Good afternoon, Dr. Joel, Ms. Lyons, faculty, staff, and my fellow students. My opening quote is a lesson that my dad taught me because it's so important to who I am. It's mostly because my life has been a journey of almost constant failure. Even though I tried and I put all my energy into something, I still fell short of succeeding. I lacked confidence and self-worth throughout my entire life. I never believed in myself. I thought I would be nothing because of the hurtful experiences I had in my own school. When I started Buckley, the negative mindset I had gained stayed with me. I did not even believe in myself to get the right answer in math, so I would use my fingers. I could not write a sentence properly, and I couldn't even spell the majority of the words I knew. I felt like a complete failure at the time, and I pretty much gave up. But it all started to change when I went to a summer camp called Elie in New Hampshire. From the first 3 weeks I spent there, I already knew I wanted to stay and go every single summer. When I was there, I felt liberated from the hurtful words my classmates said about me. Instead, I felt like I was a part of the camp, and people actually cared about me. Every second, even going to director's porch for the 5th time that week, which is basically getting sent to Dr. Joel's office, was amazing. But for the first time forever, I made true friends. We would basically do everything together. We had so much fun. We would sing songs by screaming at the top of our lungs. We would play poker and bet outrageous amounts of money, or win and lose, and then after losing, we would beg for a loan. We even made mad libs that we got in a lot of trouble for. We did so many fun hikes and camped at the best of places. We hiked in Kingsman Bridge and at Wilmington Beach, where we had water fights and threw each other in the water. And our first crack trip is where we hiked to the clouds, and no, they did not taste like cotton candy. We made s'mores on the island and talked to the girls' camp. You won't even believe how that went. Right now, you might be thinking camp is just fun, but we worked hard to earn our ribbons, which is basically awards for activities. And we cleaned basically the entire camp every day. From my experiences at camp, I learned a lot of discipline from cleaning my dormitory. Also from the bad food, but don't tell my camp chef I said that. I learned life lessons that helped me regain my confidence and achieve goals that I thought were intangible. One of these goals is my maroon ribbon, which is for crew. This took an entire month of rowing to get, and for my schedule for crew was basically to wake up at 6, row till 7:30, eat breakfast, then go for a row for another hour, and then maybe do an extra 30 minutes after that. I made really two close friends at crew by cheering each other on when our legs gave out, or when we lost our voices for how much we screamed. We did so many challenging pieces like a 1K, a 3x10, and our last requirement until I got my ribbon, a 2K. In the last week or so left at camp, I only had that to achieve. While everyone else was in one of the quads, I was in the boathouse rowing for my 2K. When I was rowing, I remember everything I learned. By the last 500 meters, I felt like giving up. My legs were aching, my arms were tired, and I could hear my heart beating louder and louder each stroke. At the last 100-meter sprint, I gave it my all. And then finally, after my last stroke, I got my ribbon. I was so excited that I jumped off the erg and immediately fell over from how exhausted I was. Even though I was on the floor, I was screaming because I was happy and in pain. It took an entire summer to get the ribbon, and getting it made me start to believe in myself. This is from the amount of physical intensity crew is. It's the same as the mental intensity. It's having doubts or not believe that I could finish that workout would not help me. But before I got my maroon ribbon, it was crew week. This is the most important week of the summer because of how competitive it is. The camp is split in half between blue and red, and for the entire summer leading up to this, there are trials to see what form you'll get, going from third all the way up to racing crew. Or to put it simply, there's a bunch of shirtless boys in the middle of the woods covered in paint rowing boats. This year was almost perfect. I got first form, so when the boats were announced, I was so excited to get first form that I spent the entire night with my friends who were on the same boat as me, being as loud and as we could, and talking about how we're going to win. This year was so important because over 400 Mountain View graduates and families went to see the races. But losing the race hurt a lot, even though I tried and I pushed myself past my limits. During that race, I still lost. I got back to the dock and was about to cry. This race meant so much to me, and losing it was miserable. I put all the blame on myself because I was a stroke seat and in charge of how fast the boat went. So I felt like I was responsible. But in the end, one of my friends, who was on the boat with me, told me I did the best that I could. I should not feel bad for losing against a mostly 15-year-old boat. This talk that I had with my friend helped me understand that I might not reach every goal that I wanted to, but I can still learn from what went wrong and realize that I can try my hardest. Even though it seemed like the race was the most important thing during that summer, my real breakthrough at camp was getting my first ribbon, which is the golden anchor for sailing. I was so dedicated to getting this ribbon, it took me 2 years, and after getting it, I was dreaming. Sailing made me feel calm, and it was thrilling. Being on the water during a beautiful day and relaxing was amazing, and white caps were awesome. Capsizing and turtle immersion was really fun as well. One of the most challenging things to do in sailing was dry capsizing. Flipping the boat over and then jumping over to the other side without even touching the water and then flipping it back over and hopping right back in. It was hard, but I was able to do it, and I got hurt, but I laughed it off because I was excited that I did it. Because in my mind, it made me feel like I was one of Tom Cruise's stunt doubles doing a backflip out of a plane. After getting my ribbon, I thought about how great it was getting the ribbon, and how I had dedicated time studying for my practical exams, or how long I spent rigging and de-rigging boats to learn how to solo sail, a two-man boat, and how long it took to work hard to achieve this. And then, finally, I started to believe in the process of success. The night of earning my ribbon, I thought back to when I was still at my old school. I remembered every time when my dad dropped me off at school, he told me you could be anything you wanted to believe. I wanted to be. But I never truly believed him, because soon after I was reminded of all my failures and how bad I was at everything. Every day. And though I thought I would never really amount to anything, so their words became mine, and eventually during that time, I never really got to understand or see what my dad was actually trying to tell me. I decided to shut myself off from the idea of being good at anything, and my brain was clouded with negativity. Although one side of me wanted to try my best and be the best I could be, the other side of me really wanted to just hide away. I was afraid of what people would say if I messed up or made a mistake. When I actually started to achieve goals, I never feel like I truly believed. I never feel like I could achieve. I started to believe in myself. Some of these goals were like winning 3rd place for the Congressional Lab Challenge, or even being an intern at the coding school. I saw that I just need to believe in myself. Because of my camp friends, I started actually to believe in what my dad said, that you could be anything you want to be. And those constant ideas of ridicule started to leave my mind. Even though I could never be more thankful for my camp friends for helping me, they became brothers to me. Though our time at camp will soon be over, their impact on my life and how I started to grow as a person will always stay. Thank you for listening.